Eviction notice. Her son, Brian Schramm, who will be speaking today as well. We also have Andrew Simmons, one who's come over here, who has also been issued an eviction notice, similar to Lynn's. And of course, we've got Betty, Mary, and June, who are famously known as the Catwomen, who you may remember were issued eviction notices in this very building a little over a year and a half ago for having pets, when we believe it was just to kick out the long-term tenants so that Hollyburn could jack up the rents. We fought it. They managed to win, so all 10 tenants that had been issued those eviction notices were able to stay. But it was a very stressful situation. Here we are again. Lynn Stevens, 82 years old, who's been a resident of this building for 41 years, has been issued an eviction notice because Hollyburn claims that they need it for caretaker suite. We don't believe that because we know, as you can see just over here, there's vacancy signs. They've been showing the building for rent to numerous people. We've heard that there's given 7 to 8 units that are still currently vacant in this suite. We're calling on them to back down, to let Lynn, let Andrew stay in their suites. They're good long-term tenants who've always paid their rent, paid their yearly rent increases, and they've given so much to our community. So we're calling on Hollyburn to back down, let them use the other vacant suites for manager suites. They're sitting there available for use now, and they don't have to put Lynn through this stressful process and potentially throw her out onto the street when she should never have to put up with this kind of situation.
Shame. Shame.
As you can see, this is a huge issue in the West End. This is consistent with the business practices we've seen at Hollyburn Properties Management. As MLA for this area for just a year and a half, I don't know how many cases I've had to put up with and try and fight where seniors and long-term tenants have had to stand up, otherwise they're going to end up on the street. It shouldn't have to happen. I've called for the BC Liberal Party to take steps to make it so that we balance the act between the rights and responsibilities of renters and landlords so that long-term tenants aren't ending up on the street just because the property management company wants a rent grab. So Brian's got a few words to say, and as does Sharon Isaac, who's here with Renters at Risk, and then we'll take some questions and go from there.
Yeah, first off, I just want to thank everybody that's here today. Our family and my mother very much appreciates your support. From our perspective, although my mother might be the focal point, this is clearly an issue that affects all people who rent, and in particular rent from Hollyburn Properties in the West End and wherever they may rent. So this is a bigger issue than just my mom or Andrew, but this is the focal point at this point. My mother, like Spencer said, has lived here for 41 years. This has been her home. This is her community. This is her social network, as you can see. These are her friends. She has been here through very good management. About 7 years ago, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. She beat that. She was given 2 to 5 years. You can see she's still here after 7 years. She has fought this thing. She has beat this thing. She also lost her husband 7 years ago of 33 years. She decided that this was the place where she wanted to live out her years. And Hollyburn Properties, for whatever reason, has decided that she has to move.
Shame.
I think everybody realizes through Hollyburn's reputation and history that this is not an unusual practice. They have targeted vulnerable seniors in the community, long-term residents in their building, for the purpose of raising rents. I think something needs to be done. I think what you are doing is fantastic. The support that's being offered is fantastic. But we have to look at it how people are going to be treated in their retirement years. This isn't right. My mother has paid her rent on time, every time, for 41 years. Since Hollyburn came, 2 years ago, when Hollyburn came, she phoned me and she said, I'm scared. I'm scared because I've heard of this company, I've seen stories about what they do to people in West End, and they're going to try to evict me. And I said, don't worry, you know, you've been there a long time, not a problem. What has happened, 18 months ago, they went after the people with pets and cats. And my mother was fearful because she has a bird, she has a lovebird. And she said, if they find out, they're going to kick me out too. I said, don't worry, this will all get resolved. It did get resolved. And the cat people won. But she lived in fear. She continues to live in fear because she knew what Hollyburn was doing. She knew they were renovating vacancies, escalating rents, and she knew it was only a matter of time. And she was right. I told her she shouldn't worry, but she was right. A few months ago, they served notice they were looking at doing renovations in the building, and when that didn't work, a week ago, she was served eviction notice for a manager's suite. Well, there's 7 suites available in this building. While you walk up to this building and you see the vacancies, while you go on the website and they're advertising for vacancies, and yet they told her in her letter that there was nothing available. Their conduct is reprehensible, not only to my mother, but to everyone who is loyal, honest, rent-paying tenants in the community. And you need to stop it. Hollyburn advertises themselves on their website. Go on their website. They have a commitment to excellence. I'm not sure what they define as excellence. But I can tell you, from my perspective, some people strive to be in the Hall of Fame. These people have achieved the Hall of Shame.
Hall of Shame.
I say shame on them and shame on their practices. And again, I thank everyone here for their support, and we will fight this. Thank you.